Hey guys, Jocelyn here. Before we get into all the nitty-gritty Sonic stuff, Wiz needs me to direct you to a link in the description. If you follow that link, you'll find a survey, and by filling out that survey, it will help us determine what ads are of most interest to you. I know ads suck, but they really help us keep the lights on. Plus, if you do the survey, you'll be entered to win a $100 Amazon gift card and only see the ads you like, which is pretty badass. So if you want to do us a favor, go fill out that survey at podsurvey.com/deskov. Wiz said that if enough people fill them out, I can get business cards. I've always wanted business cards. Alright, I know you guys are ready for some crazy facts about Sonic, but no, not this time. This is a fact-free zone, because today is a special day. Today is Rant Day. Sure, I might just be mad, and yes, maybe it's because Wiz spilt that weird green stuff in the break room and it turned my sandwich into a sentient food being. And no, it didn't help that Boomstick shot it. But none of that matters, because I'm gonna tell you exactly what is wrong with Sonic. I'm Jocelyn the intern. I do all the research nobody else wants to, straight from the desk of Death Battle. Look, I have nothing against Sonic. No, far from it. I have beef with the Sonic fans, because they are the reason we'll probably never get another good Sonic game again. Check it, most of the time fan bases keep something alive, like you guys. Thanks to you watching this, I may be able to get my own office. Whew. But the Sonic fans are something different. They suck the life right out of the franchise, pretty much making sure that no matter what happens with Sonic, there will be some form of outrage. Let's start at the beginning, the birth of Sonic. He was born as a joint venture between Sega Japan and Sega America to help compete against Nintendo's new system, the SNES. The Super Nintendo, you know. Now here is where they messed up. You see, Sega made tons of different Sonic continuities. Although Japan and America had the same games, we got the bulk of our stories from the cartoons, which were vastly different in their respective countries. America had multiple continuities itself, the most popular one being the Saturday morning cartoon series, better known as Sat AM, which shares a lot of similarities with the Archie comic line, and those two have absolutely nothing in common with the adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog cartoon. Europe even had its own comic series, and of course Japan was no different. They had a ton of different Sonics, ranging from comics, manga, anime, you name it, they had it. Hell, they even had one where he was a schoolboy who turned into Sonic. But hey, in the 90s it didn't really matter. All of these different fans would never meet up and fracture the audience into multiple warring factions of fandom. Then that exact thing happened thanks to the internet. At first it wasn't too bad. I mean, yeah, some people wanted this or that in the general story of Sonic, but mainly they all wanted more badass, fast-paced gameplay. Sadly, we as humans ruined this. Some of you may not remember, and I'm ashamed to admit it, but there was a time in the 90s where gamers simply thought more dimensions meant better games and the future. We then collectively looked Sega in the eye and said, "Hey buddy, if you don't make Sonic 3D for his next game, then we won't buy it because we're dumb and we don't know any better." Sega, fearing we would give all our money to Nintendo instead, did exactly that. Despite the Saturn not being able to support it well, Sonic made his jump up in dimensions via Sonic 3D Blast, and it was just kinda okay, to be honest. But then we got Sonic Adventures. Sega changed all the characters and updated their looks, and this fractured the community more, but overall, Sonic Adventures was the holy grail. We sat with our Dreamcast gleefully spitting on the 64-bit peasants over at Nintendo. But our joy did not last, however. You see, we hastily asked Sega for another, and then Adventures 2 was rushed along, corners were cut, and somehow we ended up with Shadow. At this point, everyone who had grown up with a Genesis moved to the left and promptly said, what the hell is this emo-looking hedgehog doing here? And then everyone 15 years or younger said, "Whoa, cool, he's black and red and that is so edgy." From there on out, the world of Sonic split in twine, those who held on to the old and those who embraced the new. Sega, confused by thousands of people yelling different demands at them, struck what may be the largest blow to the fandom that has ever happened. They decided to make a standalone shadow game and flood the franchise with even more stupid characters. But what really caused chaos was this image of Shadow who has an effing gun! Why? I don't know, Sega was probably high on crack from what I can tell. But it happened, and it instantly made a franchise that was always cool by nature seem like a franchise struggling to remain cool. And oh boy, did people flip their shit. From this point on, all the separate Sonic fan factions have been asking for their perfect Sonic game. So then Sega, in turn, tries to make them all happy, and in doing so, they just seem to piss everyone off even more. Probably because most of the games suck really bad. Now that you can see just how strange and fractured the Sonic world is, I would like to bring up one final point. Sonic created furries. Yes, you heard me. It all started in the Sad AM cartoon. Sally Goddamn Acorn. On her own merits, Sally is one bad broad, but she was far too sexualized for an anthropomorphic character on a kids' TV show. And they didn't stop there. Look at almost all the female characters in the Sonic franchise. They are all overly sexualized, and this has started a very, very strange subculture. Just Google your name plus the Hedgehog. Seriously, any name followed by the Hedgehog. You just go ahead and follow that rabbit hole down into the depths of Cringe Town. Although Sonic isn't solely to blame, there was also that lustful look Nala had in The Lion King. Between this and Sonic, our generation was predispositioned for an anthropomorphic fetish. Ugh. Hope you guys enjoyed that. Now don't forget to give this episode a thumbs up and spread the word about the show. The other day, Boomstick looked me right in the eye when I spoke to him, so I think I'm doing something right. If you're new to the show, you can catch up on the previous episodes by clicking the playlist annotation. Watch the episodes and then you can be all smart-like.